Ever seen a whale take off? Meet the Airbus Beluga, an aircraft so enormous it can swallow two A350 wings, yet so gentle looking it was nicknamed after the Arctic beluga whale. But why does this supersized oddball exist, and how did it become the unsung workhorse behind almost every Airbus you've ever flown? Stick around. By the end of this video, you'll decide whether the Beluga deserves the crown as history's most brilliant cargo plane. Let me know your verdict in the comments. Back in the 1970s, Airbus had a big problem. Their factories were spread across Europe. Wings built in the UK, fuselage sections made in France, and tailpieces in Germany. All of these huge components had to get to final assembly lines fast. At first, Airbus used a fleet of aging Super Guppy cargo planes. But these were noisy, inefficient, and could barely keep up with demand. Airbus needed something faster, bigger, and more reliable. So in 1992, they launched the Super Transporter project. The result was the Beluga, officially known as the A300-600ST. The Beluga is based on the Airbus A300 but with a massively enlarged fuselage. Think of it as an A300 on steroids, with a huge bubble-shaped upper section to carry enormous loads. The first Beluga flew in 1994 and entered service in 1995. What makes the Beluga special? For starters, its cockpit is lowered below the main cargo deck. This clever design means the aircraft's entire nose can swing open without disturbing the cockpit or flight systems, allowing for fast roll-on, roll-off loading. It's a simple but brilliant solution. Inside, the cargo hold is absolutely massive, over 1,500 cubic meters in volume. That's enough space to fit entire wings, satellites, or even helicopters. The internal diameter is about 7 meters, and the hold stretches 37 meters long. While it's not the strongest cargo plane in terms of weight, it can carry up to 47 tons. It's one of the biggest in terms of volume. The Beluga is typically crewed by 2 pilots and a loadmaster. The cargo hold is unpressurized but heated. With a payload of 40 tons, it has a range of around 2,700 kilometers. That's more than enough to link Airbus factories across Europe multiple times a day. And it does exactly that. At its peak, the Beluga fleet was flying up to 5 missions a day, 6 days a week. It became the invisible engine behind Airbus's production line, moving vital parts between factories with clockwork precision. But the Beluga's talents don't stop at Airbus parts. It's carried modules for the International Space Station, delivered humanitarian aid after the Indian Ocean tsunami and Hurricane Katrina, and even trial-loaded military helicopters for emergency response teams. In 2014, Airbus announced the next-generation Beluga XL. Based on the A330-200 freighter, the XL is bigger, stronger, and more efficient. It offers 30% more volume than the original and can carry up to 51 tons. Best of all, it can transport 2 A350 wings at once, something the original Beluga could never do. The first Beluga XL took flight in 2018 and entered full service in 2020. Airbus built 6 of them, completing the fleet by 2024. These XLs now handle most of Airbus's production transport, gradually replacing the older BelugaST models. So, what happens to the original Belugas now that the XL has taken over? In 2022, Airbus launched a new venture, Beluga Transport. The idea was to lease out the older Belugas for outsized cargo missions, think satellites, helicopters, or oversized machinery. The company aimed to run at least 150 missions a year. It was an ambitious move to give the old whales a new life. But by 2025, that program had been quietly paused. Demand didn't meet expectations, and the cargo charter market proved tougher than Airbus anticipated. Still, the BelugaSTs remain available and could return to service if needed, or find homes in aviation museums. Now let's talk fun facts. The Beluga's smiley face livery wasn't just a design choice, it was voted on by Airbus employees. And it works. The Beluga is one of the most recognizable and beloved aircraft in the world. Its approach speed is surprisingly slow, around 125 knots, thanks to its oversized flaps. Despite its size, it handles remarkably well in the air. While the Beluga can't carry as much weight as a Boeing 747 freighter, it dominates when it comes to unusual and oversized cargo. The only plane with a bigger internal volume was the legendary Antonov AN-225, which sadly was destroyed in 2022. So, engineering marvel or oversized gimmick? Should Airbus lease the Beluga fleet to space companies, militaries, or even rock tour stage crews? Smash that like button if you learned something new, subscribe for more Skybound stories, and tell me in the comments what aircraft should be next.